is a specific kind of evening I want to talk about. Nothing has gone wrong. You make dinner, you answer the messages, the apartment is warm, the laundry is folded, the week is on track. And you sit down on the edge of your bed with your phone in your hand and you scroll. Not because you want anything in particular, but because you're looking for something and you couldn't name it. 20 minutes later, you put the phone down and you feel slightly worse and you don't know why. If your life were a film, this is where you'd fast forward. And I think a lot of us are doing that fast forwarding through our own footage, waiting for the part where it gets good. So, boredom. We treat it like a symptom of not having enough happening. Not enough travel, not enough dates, not enough events in the calendar. And so the prescription is always more. More plans, more novelty, more simulation, a new city, a new hobby, a new haircut. But here's what I've noticed in myself first. I have been bored in beautiful places. I've been bored on a very good weekend. And I've been completely, ridiculously absorbed doing something as small as repotting a plant on a Tuesday. Which means boredom isn't really about the size of your life. It's about your relationship to it. You're not bored because your life is boring. You're bored because nothing in it currently has a claim on you. Nothing is asking anything of you. Nothing is changing you. You are being entertained and you are being optimized. And neither of those things is the same as being devoted to something. Let's get into it. We doom scroll because we are searching for something that will transform us. But we can't stay with any one thing long enough to be transformed by it. A short attention span, but on an existential scale. Think about what actually happens in 10 minutes of scrolling. You pass through a wedding, a war, a recipe, a breakup, a sofa you now want, someone's grief, someone's abs. And you touch none of them. There is no plot. Nothing accumulates. I was reading Sherry Ning's Substack and saw this. She was in a museum in Vienna looking for a specific painting, a Vermeer, and it wasn't where it was supposed to be. So she and her partner walked the whole museum again, hunting for it. And in the hunt, everything else in that building went quiet. Not because the other painting got worse. They were still masterpieces. But because they'd stopped having any claim on her attention. And when they finally found the Vermeer, it was overwhelming. Partly because it was beautiful, and partly because they'd looked for it. Same building, same paintings, same 2 hours. The difference is that in one version, you wanted something. The internet has made everything a mirror. The algorithm's entire job is to show you more of what you already are. Your taste reflected, your politics reflected, your exact aesthetic reflected back at you in higher and higher resolution until your feed is basically a very expensive portrait of yourself. And the mirror can't take you anywhere. A mirror can only confirm you. What we are actually starving for is the opposite. Something with enough of its own gravity to interrupt us. A person, a craft, an idea, a place, a piece of music that walks in and rearranges the furniture. Something that doesn't reflect you. Something that changes you. That's why boredom feels the way it does. It isn't emptiness exactly. It's this floating feeling moving forward in time with no direction. It's not that you want to die. You'd just like to disappear for a bit and wait for something to happen to you. Nothing is going to happen to you. I'm sorry, I said that with love. Hayes Carrera wrote a piece about the most disciplined person he'd ever met, his old physics teacher. Up and down, tracked everything, read constantly, trained religiously, and he'd built all of it himself, decades before anyone was selling morning routines on the internet. And Hayes says the systems were immaculate. The life inside them was absent. I want to translate that because I don't think most of the women watching this have a physics teacher in mind. I think you have a girl in mind. You know her. She might be you. Her water bottle is enormous. Her Sunday reset is a genius production. She has a skincare routine with a load-bearing serum, a book she's reading for self-improvement rather than pleasure, and a Notion page called Systems. And she's so tired. And underneath the tiredness, if you get her at the right hour on the right night, she'll tell you she doesn't really feel anything much anymore. Self-improvement works best on people who already have direction. If you know what you're building, systems are leverage. If you don't know what you're building, systems become a substitute for figuring it out. And the industry is very happy to keep you there. Because a woman who's chasing the next optimization is a woman who keeps buying. The worst part is, I think women get a specific uglier version of this. We are not really raised to be interesting. We are raised to be improvable. Improvable means the flatness you feel isn't a sign that your life needs a direction. It's a sign that you need work. You need to be tighter, calmer, thinner, more disciplined, more grateful, better regulated. And so the vague dissatisfaction gets redirected into a personal renovation project that conveniently never finishes. You know what's very well behaved? Spending your 30s fixing yourself instead of choosing something. Nobody wants to admit this one out loud. Some part of us is waiting to be chosen. Waiting for the relationship, the proposal, the baby, the move, the thing that will finally start a story. So we hold the shape of our lives loosely. We don't sign the lease. We don't book the trip alone. Safety is often just delayed regret, but let's be careful here. Because you don't become interesting by trying to seem interesting. That's performance. And people clock it immediately. And I think this is where a lot of the slow living, romanticize your life content quietly goes wrong. It sells the photograph of a full life. But a life you can photograph and a life you can feel are not automatically the same life. Texture is different. Texture is the accumulated weight of a life that has actually gone somewhere, risked something, chosen something and stayed. Someone who's built something from nothing, even something small, even something a bit embarrassing, relates to what's possible differently. It changed the hardware, and the hardware is what people are actually responding to. What in your life would you still do if nobody could see it? If the answer is almost nothing, that's not a character flaw. That's just information. It means you've been building a life to be witnessed rather than a life to be inhabited. Right, so what do we do? I want to give you 2 layers. Layer 1, the small joys. Build a life you don't feel the need to escape from. Stop wishing your weeks away waiting for Saturday. And you start by scattering a small joy rather than saving all of it for a weekend that has to carry an impossible amount of weight. Practically, that looks like this. Little habits that belong to nobody but you. Singing in the car with the windows down, the Friday coffee, calling your sister on the walk home. Music on while you cook, not a podcast, music. The good cup for the ordinary tea. A project, something ongoing that you can return to. And then an honest audit. What parts do you actually look forward to? Where does the time go really? Layer 2. Small joys alone won't do it. They will make a flat life more pleasant. They won't make it feel like something. Because a scattering of nice moments is still a scattering. What kills existential boredom isn't more pleasant moments. It's direction, a promise that the one thing will be worth it. So choose one thing and stay with it long past the point where it's fun. One thing you're willing to be bad at for a year. And I want to be specific about why the being bad at it part matters. Because that's the part everyone skips. Everything is interesting for the first 2 weeks. And also everything is tedious somewhere around week 6. That tedium is not a sign you choose wrong. It's the toll booth. It's the exact place where novelty seeking would have you switch to a new hobby. And then one more. The answer to a flat life is not only to get more experiences on your own terms. It's to give something. Because self-focus is circular. It loops. You can optimize yourself, curate yourself, romanticize yourself, and still end up exactly where you started. With a life that is entirely about you and therefore eventually extremely boring. Teaching someone, making something for a specific person. Cooking for people who then eat it in your kitchen. Make something, give it away. There's one more thing, and it's the one I most needed someone to say to me. How strange it is to arrive at happiness after years of surviving. That thriving feels foreign. That there was a kind of survivor's guilt in it. Am I allowed this? Do I deserve this? I want to say something to the women watching this who have spent a long time in survival mode. You'll sit in a warm, safe, uneventful evening and you'll assume the problem is that your life is too small. Sometimes it isn't. Sometimes the problem is that your life is finally quiet enough for you to hear yourself and you've never done that before. So before you burn anything down, I would ask one question. Am I bored or am I unpracticed at peace? Thanks for spending this time with me. Go and be disgustingly obsessed with your own life. I'll see you next week.